Welcome back to another episode of Bromance. I'm Ryan, and today I had a conversation with Dan. We talked a little bit about MLB, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. contract. We talked about, obviously, the Yankees. And I'm going to try and do something a little different. I want to go solo off the top of the show. Nothing crazy, 5-10 minutes. But before I do that, I'm going to hit the intro.
Ice water turn Atlantic. Night calling in a phantom. Told them, hold it, don't you panic.
All right, welcome back again. Like I said in the intro, this is going to be 5 or 10 minutes. We'll see how long this lasts, but this is something kind of new. I did try this a few months ago. I wanted John on for an episode, and unfortunately he couldn't make it. So I tried going solo. This was probably like episode 3 or 4. Didn't really have a lot of experience with this. I feel more comfortable doing this now. Obviously, it's a lot easier to do, an episode, record it with your friends, than just go solo. So I had Dan on today. We talked baseball. I'm grateful for that, but he doesn't really have any other opinions on sports like basketball or football that I kind of want to go over. Actually, no football today. I do want to go over F1 at the end. John, if you're watching this, I want your ass to hop on Bromance. We need to talk F1. So let's talk about the Knicks first. Knicks won again yesterday. They beat the Suns without KD. They looked really good. It was Jalen Brunson's first game back. So Jalen Brunson plays the rest of the games this season. He will qualify for the 65 wins. So he can make, first team, second team, third team, all NBA, whatever he's going to make. I'm going to assume he makes second team. He might make third just because he has missed a fair amount of games this year. He has missed 15 games so far. But anyways, Knicks win again. So they have 50 wins on the season. I believe they're 50-28 this season. So last season, the Knicks had more than 50 wins. This season, the Knicks had more than 50 wins. This is the first time since the 93/94 and then 94/95 season where they've had back-to-back 50 wins. So if you've been watching this for a while, you remember that John and I talked about this, I don't know, sometime last month about, Thibodeau and what I think about him. I'm extremely grateful for a coach like Tom Thibodeau because the Knicks have been straight ass for like almost 2 decades. Thibodeau comes in the door, changes the culture, brings guys in like Josh Hart. I mean, obviously he didn't bring him in, they traded for him, but they bring guys in like Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson, and they change the culture. This season they traded for Cat. Everything's been good so far, but needless to say, Knicks have 50 wins this season, and that is with an injury-riddled season. So I went through the numbers. They might not be totally accurate, but I know they're pretty close. So Mitchell Robinson has missed 62 games. Miles McBride has missed 19. Jalen Brunson has missed 15. Cameron Payne has missed 10. Cat has missed 8. And Josh Hart has missed 4. So the Knicks have 50 wins with all these injuries, with a little bit of, behind the scenes kind of drama, I guess, with the Mikal Bridges comments probably about 2 weeks ago about how, Coach Tibbs should be playing the bench a little bit more and give the starter some rest. That's also obviously with our captain, Jalen Brunson, being down. That's with a bench like Cameron Payne being injured, having to rely on guys like Landry Shamet, playing guys like Tyler Kolek, who they're just a rookie. Even going down, like them signing guys like PJ Tucker. Like, I know he's only played 1 game, but that's just a culture guy that they signed, end of the bench guy that they know that they're not going to get any real minutes out of him, but they just want him in the locker room. So extremely grateful for the season. The season's not over. I'm very excited to see who they play in the playoffs. As a Knicks fan, I personally would like them to play the Bucks because the Knicks have swept the Bucks, which is the first time that they've done that in a long ass time. I don't think they have anyone to really stop Jalen Brunson. They don't really have anyone to stop Karl-Anthony Towns. The Bucks really like to play that drop coverage with Brook Lopez, who's like 38 years old. OG Anunoby's been fucking killing it. Mikal Bridges has been really spotty on and off, but when he's on, he's on. Josh Hart, good energy guy. So I think they have a good stopper for Giannis with OG Anunoby. If they need a guy who's, a little bit more lengthier, then they put Mikal Bridges on him. And then if they need an energy guy to just be up in your face, then they put Josh Hart on him. So I have no I don't really have any nerves as a fan. If they do play the Bucks, that's what I'm rooting for. And also, Dame Lillard is injured, so he had like a blood clot, I believe, in his calf. So hopefully everything's good with him. He may come back for the playoffs. I wouldn't really be counting on that, but watch him come back tomorrow, like when I post this. So who knows? There's still 5 games left though. More Knicks stuff. So Tibbs passed Pat Riley. He has the 4th most wins in Knicks history. And that just goes to show you what I was talking about in the beginning of the show, where the Knicks were ass for a long ass time. They get a guy like this. He's been coaching the Knicks for 5 seasons, and he's already 4th most winning coach in Knicks history. So just grateful for someone like that. The playoffs may be a little bit different. I may change my tone. If you go and look online, I think there's going to be a lot of Knicks fans that are probably be calling for his head, especially if they lose in the first round. But I don't predict that happening. A little bit of NHL. Alex Ovechkin, he breaks Wayne Gretzky's record. I'm not a big hockey fan, but I thought it was pretty cool that he broke his record. I also think it was cool that he broke his record in the same amount of games as Gretzky did. Other than that, I really don't have any opinions. I just kind of wanted to shout him out because he's the fucking GOAT. UConn woman. So I'll be the first to admit, I really don't watch too much UConn women or just college basketball women in general, but living in Connecticut, there's really not a lot of home teams to root for. So did watch a little bit of the UConn women yesterday. They beat the absolute shit out of South Carolina. Shout out UConn. Shout out the girls. Shout out Coach Oriema. Shout out Paige Beckers. Go. Yeah. Florida Duke final. So Florida beats, who they beat? Auburn. Auburn had control of that game, I'd say, for more than half of it. And then towards, I would say, like the 7 or 8 minute mark, you could see that Florida was starting to come back. They were hitting shots. Walter Clayton Jr. is fucking him. Guy had like almost 30 points. I think he had like 27 points with 25 minutes in the game, minutes played. So he absolutely killed it in that first half. Duke Houston. What a game. Full disclosure. So this happened on Saturday. Long story short, my washing machine broke, so I had to go to my parents' house. Was watching the game there. My in-laws from New Hampshire came down, so I just had a long Saturday. I watched most of the game. At like the 6 minute mark, I'm in bed watching the game on my phone. I'm like, okay. Unfortunately, I think Duke is winning this, so I'm just going to go to bed. Woke up Sunday morning, saw that Duke lost, and I'm like, what the hell? Watched the last 2 minutes. Duke choked. I think that Houston went on a 15-3 run. So shout out Houston. Was definitely rooting for them. Not going to lie. Kind of a Duke hater. But Florida Duke final. I have Florida in my bracket. So if Florida wins, then my bracket looks good. I actually had every single team in the Final Four correct other than Duke. I had Wisconsin. And last but not least, F1. So don't have any crazy takes, but Max Verstappen wins the Japan Grand Prix. I believe McLaren is leading in the standings for the points. But I know Lando's been killing it this year. And I also know that Oscar Piastri has been killing it. So I'm not the biggest F1 fan. My friend John, shout out John Hull. He started the whole story probably like 2.5, 3 years ago. Did it for about 2 years. Hasn't done it for about a year. So John really got me into the sport. He hasn't been doing any of the shows this year, so I'm kind of left on my own. Yeah, but I would love to have you on, John. I want you on so we can talk F1. But I didn't really have a team. I picked McLaren because I at the time felt like that they're a young and upcoming team, and Oscar Piastri last season was a rookie, so looked like I picked a good team. But anyways, that's it. I hope I wasn't rambling too much. without further ado, let's get to that conversation with Dan and I. Welcome back to another episode of Bromance. I'm Ryan, and today I got Dan again with me.
I'm
Dan,
Dan.
how we doing, baby?
We doing good. I'm pretty happy with well, minus today's game. Well, I'm pretty happy with the Yanks at the moment. So life is good.
Can't complain. How was drinking with your cousin Friday night?
Um Adventurous.
What does that mean?
If there's any cops listening, I did not drive home. If there
Dan,
are if there aren't cops listening, then I got really fucked up.
Dan, damn,
Well,
Daniel. I thought you were gonna say like, yeah, we were bar hopping in Meriden and we started hitchhiking and we ended up in Bridgeport or something.
no, dude, I wouldn't even be making pot. I'd be dead.
Yeah, facts. If you made it all the way to Bridgeport hitchhiking,
Not even that. I wouldn't make it through the Meriden bar hopping.
true. That's true. Where do you even bar hop in Meriden?
Nowhere.
By the train tracks, right? Isn't that like where AJ's is and like the strip club?
The only good bar is the Village Barn. That's really it. I'm not
That
really a fan. I'm not really a fan of Maloney's. Scotty O'Boyle's is cool too because my boy's dad cooks there, but um,
hmm
I don't like Maloney's too much. I don't really. I'm not a big bar guy. I'm more of like a brewery, if anything, if I'm going out drinking. But or it's like a sliders, like somewhere chill. I don't really need to be around like fucking 65-year-old deadbeat dads.
Best brewery in Connecticut.
Um, Stuff. I like Stony Creek and Kinsman a lot. Illicit's pretty cool too, just because there's like stuff to do at Illicit as well. But I like
Yes,
I think I like Stony Creek the best, just for
that's
the
the one in
view.
Brantford, correct?
Yeah, that's what we went to and during COVID.
Yeah, that's my one for sure. And then I would say Kingsman just because it's right around the corner for me.
True, yeah. And then is there another one by you in Plainville too?
Maybe in like that, like right off the highway. There's like a bunch of stuff going on back there. There's like a lot of like little industrial parks, machine shops. They have like an ice cream shop. They have a gym. They have like a bunch of weird stuff. They have like legit restaurants back there too.
Hmm.
You would never know
Actually,
driving by it.
you know what's an underrated brewery too? Is Brewport down in Bridgeport over by the new amphitheater.
You could not pay me
Bro,
enough to go there.
I ended up there once on a whim, and it was actually like super nice place. And I had Korean barbecue pizza there.
Ooh,
Fire.
that sounds interesting.
Fire. Yeah, it was so good. I wouldn't, you couldn't pay me to drive down there just to go there, but if I'm in the area and feel like getting a beer or something like that, I wouldn't mind stopping. But
I thought you were gonna say if I'm down in the area and feeling risky, then I just go there.
no, dude, I just go to like the middle of the heart of the ghetto in Bridgeport and be like, what's up?
What's up? So when I went back to Yard Metals a few years ago, I had to work my way up seniority. So I set me to the hood for about a year. And I have a lot of bad experiences in Bridgeport, including someone driving into the back of my truck without their license, blaming me, saying it was my fault. And then, so this happened the end of August. So it was pretty warm out still. Guy comes out downtown Bridgeport out of his car in a ski mask. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, you're fucked. You're
Oh
fucked.
shit. Called the cops, waited like about an hour, called again. I'm like, yo, I'm a big ass truck. I'm blocking shit. This guy's
Dude,
car's fucked.
nobody got shot, so they're not gonna come.
Yeah, they're like, is it an emergency? I'm like, I called an hour ago. It's not like an emergency, but yeah, I'm kind of blocking the road. Like, it's important that you guys come here in a reasonable amount of time.
Mhm.
So yeah, not good memories.
So did you get shot?
No,
Damn.
nope. Here to tell the story.
Hey man, you could have brought a souvenir home with you too.
True. A
Be like,
cap.
yeah, but like I want the bullet and then just put it on your mantle.
A cap. So I was listening to PMT today, and they were interviewing. Was it Mark Hoppus? Am I saying that right?
From Blink?
Yeah, from Blink 182.
Yeah, Mark Hoppus.
And he's talking about some of his crazy tour stories. And I know that you're in a band, so I'm curious. Do you have any crazy tour stories or band stories?
Which ones could I tell? I think the scariest one, we were in Detroit, and this is when I was tour managing the band I ended up joining a little later on in 2017. So we're in Detroit at a venue, and show goes good and everything. We're like loading out. Our tour rig wouldn't start. It's like, oh shit, that sucks. And it was like when it wasn't starting, it was roughly like 12, like midnight, 12:30. And so obviously no repair shops are open, so we had to just like chill there for the night. And we had an off day the next day, so it was totally fine. Um, so we're just chilling, like all of us are drinking and everything, and I get the random urge from McDonald's, like every drunk person at 3 a.m. does.
It's either
So
Taco Bell or McDonald's.
yeah, and well, I didn't eat Taco Bell at the time. So it was McDonald's. Dude,
I eat Taco Bell at the time.
Dude, I senior year of high school, I got food poisoning twice from them, and I ended up in the hospital. So I stopped eating them for like a long time, and I started a year or two ago, and I really regret not eating it for like 10+ years because
Taco Bell and I were on a break.
yeah, dude, we were fighting. So yeah, I call an Uber, and Uber comes, and it's just like, dude, I don't even know what nationality it was. It was like very broken English, but he was screaming at somebody over the phone, like on his Bluetooth. And I can hear the other person because they're just coming over the speaker. So I'm like in the back, like, okay, this is fun. And this is like heart of the ghetto in Detroit too. So like 8
Really,
Mile,
Detroit's a beautiful city. I'm surprised.
dude, 8 Mile was like 4 blocks away from where we were playing. So like that explains a
Solid.
lot of where we were. And so we're on this drive, and he is speeding, like just going nuts, like probably in a 35 doing 60, and he's screaming at someone over the phone, and it gets to a point where he's like, "I'll come there right now and fuck you up," like, and yeah, dude, he was beefing with somebody, and so I'm like, this isn't good. So he goes, "Oh, sorry," but we go past the McDonald's. I'm like, "Well, I'm going with him."
Yeah, let's go. We're fucking this guy up.
So like I find like a small like gap in this conversation. I was like, "Hey man, sorry to bother you, but like I was trying to go to that McDonald's and get food." And kind of past he looks at me, he goes, "Oh no, sorry brother, we're good, we're gonna turn around." And so we get into the drive-through line. I'm ordering, and I flip on the light in the it was an SUV, so there was like a light in the back. So I flip it on, and I just happen to look like towards the center console, and there was a fucking piece just sitting right there, like not concealed, like anything. And I'm like, yo, I really could have witnessed a shooting tonight. And so we pull up McDonald's, and he's still going back and forth with this guy, and he's just driving more erratic at this time. I'm like, I'm dying tonight. It's cool.
Just open
like,
up the door, just tumble out.
Honestly, though, like when I saw the piece and then he started getting more, I actually thought about just tucking and rolling because I was like, I'm not going to get dragged into this. Like,
yeah.
I mean, at least if I get shot and I die, whatever I go in the afterlife, I have a cool story to tell. Like when I get to the gates and ask me how I did it. But
can you bring that McDonald's with you?
I mean, that'd be that's a stipulation I'll probably put in the contract too. But
that's too far.
Yeah. So I get back. So it gets crazier. So I get dropped off, and then like not even a half hour or two later, I just hear like police sirens and shit. Well, long story short, this guy did shooting somebody. Because I was like, because I knew what was happening. I looked at the news the next day because we were still in Detroit, and the road from the venue to like where it happened was blocked off. So like I was like, what the fuck? So I look at the news story, and it was like Uber driver gets in a shootout, and I'm like, no fucking way.
You're like, yo, that was my boy from last night.
Dude,
he pulled up.
Dude, for days on end, I was looking for a mugshot. Sure enough, it was the fucking guy.
Oh my god.
He straight up shot somebody that day. So I'm like, I could have been there.
Damn, you could have talked him out of it. Damn, what the heck?
Nah, dude, I don't want to get into someone else's beef, bro.
I don't have like any crazy Uber stories.
I'm too white. I can't get into that shit.
I don't have any crazy Uber stories, but I do have one where when I was 18, I was in Vegas, and this guy picked us up. He was like wearing like a Hawaiian shirt, looked like he was on vacation. He was driving like, they look like a 1990s like old school minivan. You open up and there's like room for like 8 people. And this guy,
fucks.
Yeah, facts. And this guy was like, "You're never gonna guess who I picked up yesterday." And we're like, "Who?" And he's like, "Mike Tyson." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And then he's like, "I picked up Mike Tyson yesterday." And then he started like, mimicking how he talks and shit. He's like, "He gave me his number. I was his personal limo driver yesterday. I was just driving around everywhere." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Is this guy like, was he like high and just thought like a random black dude was Mike Tyson?
No, he's like that one guy. You just get in the van, and he's like that one Uber driver. I should have like specified that. You just don't get in a random person's van. He's that one Uber driver. You get in their van.
Wait, you don't?
Guy in a free
I've been
candy.
doing it wrong this whole time.
He's like that one Uber driver. Like you get in their van and you're like, this guy's got some good energy. Like this is gonna be a good ride.
Like he's like super talkative. Like yeah,
Yeah.
that those ones are cool.
He had like a cooler. He's got like the water. Anyone need to like charge their phone, like just like a good guy, you could tell.
Oh fuck yeah.
And
So
then
was it actually Mike Tyson he picked up?
yeah, he said he picked up Mike Tyson, so
I would have been like,
I
bro,
gotta believe him.
I would have been like, bro, did you get a selfie? Like, show me a picture. Prove it.
Right, right. And
How big's his
then
dick?
one last one. When I was in Kansas City for nationals last year, I was talking to one of the drivers, and I actually had him back to back days. It was weird, but I was talking football with him, and it was like October. Yeah, October. And I was like, man, it must be crazy to like be a Chiefs fan and live in Kansas City. He's like, oh, brother, I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm like, you're not a Chiefs fan. You live in Kansas City. What do you mean? He's like, I'm a Patriots fan. I'm like, why the
Oh
fuck do you
man,
like the Patriots? You live in Kansas City, dude.
Tom Brady to go, bro.
He said that he was a Chiefs fan until like the 90s and they cut a kicker. And he's like, that's it, last straw. I'm going to like the Patriots. I was like, what? A kicker?
That'd be like me saying, "Oh man, they DFA DJ LeMahieu. I'm not a Yankee fan anymore."
Not even DJ. That would be like them DFAing like Ottavino or something like that and be like, that's it, last straw.
That's what really did it for me.
That's what did it for me, man. I'm going to go like, I don't know, the Brewers. Like, what?
Truthfully, he picked a good time to get into the Patriots bandwagon, though.
So he said that they were, well, also,
Well, they
I
were
announced,
they were very bad in the '90s, but like at least he stuck to where like it was started to become like the Brady era.
right. Yeah. He said that it was pretty bad for like 2, 3 years, but then Drew Bledsoe gets hurt. The GOAT goes in and it was curtains.
Curtains,
Curtains.
beef
All right,
curtains.
let's get into the episode though. There wasn't a lot that's gone on the last week. I would say one big storyline is the Vlad Guerrero Jr. contract. So Vladimir Guerrero Jr. signs a 14-year, $500 million deal after he said that he was not willing to negotiate when the regular season started.
And he wasn't originally willing to go below 600.
I saw the numbers. Yeah, I saw 600 was floated around. That's what he wanted, and he sent to them. They weren't willing to meet that, and then the numbers just kept on dropping. They couldn't meet in the middle, and then he's like, "Fuck it." Regular season started. Like, I'm done. We can discuss it this offseason.
I think he probably talked to a few people and realized like free agency is more stressful than people think. So I think maybe he didn't want to deal with it. Plus, he was born in Canada, so makes sense. The only thing that I took away from that is, man, trying to get to Kyle Tucker next year is gonna be tough.
I literally have that in my notes, like right under it. So
Yeah,
Kyle Tucker, Cubs trade for him from the Astros. The Yankees were trying to trade for him. What does that deal look like?
I think the starting number is 400. I think. Like how old is he now? 29.
Looking it up right now.
I the way if he has a big year, I think it's gonna be like 11, like starting at 11-4.
He's
11 for
28.
4. Yeah, 11 for 400 is gonna be like the starting point. That gets the conversation going.
Vlad is
I think Vlad's still young. I think he's only 26 or 27.
26. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, two more years older, and then plays a more premium position, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're going to see my best guess is like maybe 12 for 440 maybe.
So you don't think he beats the deal that Vlad just got? Because I mean, if I'm being honest with you, I think Kyle Tucker. I mean, I know it's two different positions, but I'd rather have Kyle Tucker than Vlad Guerrero Jr. And he's only 2 years older.
Kyle Tucker has more injury history than Vlad.
Yeah.
And I think Kyle Tucker's great. I think Kyle Tucker's obviously a better defender, but just different position. But I think Vlad's the better hitter than Kyle Tucker. And you're also getting, I think, 4 or 5 years of Vlad's prime versus like 2 or 3 of Kyle Tucker's prime.
I don't know if I totally agree with that statement you just said.
I'm trying to like think of it as like, there's not even really any comps because like I was gonna say Judge because he was like the same age when he was a free agent, but that's a totally different scenario and totally different thing because he's homegrown. And he had set a record breaking season. I don't think you're going to see Kyle Tucker get 500 at all, in my honest opinion. But I think I stand by my statement where I think you're getting less years of Kyle Tucker's prime as an outfielder than you are
I
getting
agree
Vlad
with
Jr.'s.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I just pulled it up on StatHead. So WAR, Kyle Tucker 23.8, Vlad Guerrero Jr. 21 games. So Guerrero has played more games because Kyle Tucker has been hurt over the years. So Kyle Tucker 645, Vlad Guerrero
You
Jr.
also
829.
you also can't really use WAR as a factor because they're two different positions that would equate more WAR than the other would. You're going to have more WAR as a right fielder than a first baseman any day.
Correct. Home runs. So Vlad Guerrero Jr. 160, Kyle Tucker 130, RBIs. I mean, a lot of this is just because he's played more games.
Yeah.
RBIs 511, Kyle Tucker 432. So I would say the stats that I actually kind of care about is
also I also don't think you're going to see Tucker get more than Vlad because you're going to have a lot more outfielders as free agents in the upcoming years that are like worth money than first baseman would be.
I think it's smart for Vlad to get this contract because
absolutely, yeah.
If you looked at what the first baseman's got this past offseason, I know most of them were on the older side, but none of them got what they thought that they were going to get.
And two, I saw today how the Mets were like originally factoring in if he didn't extend with the Blue Jays, they're going to try to trade for him and then extend him for the Mets. But Mets front office didn't really like his valuation for a first baseman. Like they weren't going to spend that money for someone just to play first base. They said they'd rather. That would have been crazy, but it's also smart on their end because I think I'd rather have a big contract for maybe like a shortstop, third baseman, center fielder than a first baseman.
That would have been crazy.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, Soto signed for what, 780, right? 770, something like that.
765, something like that.
And they just signed him for 500 mil. So you got $1.25 billion just locked up between two guys. That's crazy.
Yeah. But they were not going to give him the money he got from the Blue Jays to play first base, though.
No. All right, so Vladimir Guerrero Jr. batting average 287, Kyle Tucker 275, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on base 362, Kyle Tucker 356, slugging 498, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Kyle Tucker 521, OPS, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 861, Kyle Tucker 877. So the stats are pretty similar. It's a bigger sample size from Vladimir Guerrero Jr., even though he's younger.
Which tells me that's another reason why you're not going to see Tucker get that money, because if he's putting up less numbers in a smaller sample size, that's not really good at all. Mm-hmm. If you're going to have better numbers, it's probably most people who have better numbers than another person is based off a smaller sample size.
Right. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely curious to see. I mean, notorious Cubs, they'll try to re-sign him and then trade him and be like, hey, or no, they either won't re-sign him or they'll re-sign him and then like a year and they're like, hey, we really don't want him anymore. It's too expensive. You trade for him and then you pay it, okay? And we'll give you some money because we don't want to pay the whole thing.
And Tucker was hurt last year, wasn't he? I think he missed significant time last year. So I don't think I knew they weren't going to extend him in the offseason because I think they want to see what a full year of Kyle Tucker for them would play as. And I don't think he's going to have the numbers you think he's going to have just for the fact that he's playing 80 games at Wrigley Field.
Right. Yeah. It's O&D stadium for sure. Yeah, definitely curious. So let's get into everything else I have is Yankee talk. Let's get into Yankee talk. So it's been like a week-ish since you've been on. Mm-hmm. So the Diamondback series finished. So the Yankees almost got swept. They ended up winning that last game. Do you have any thoughts or takeaways from that series?
I think it was a very we didn't play bad. Our relievers just gave up the wrong hits at the very wrong moment, like that grand slam to Suarez.
That was bad.
Zach Gallen, game 2, I think that was one of the best pitching performances I've ever seen. He just straight up dominated.
Shoved.
Yeah. Which, dude, it's Zach Gallen. Like you can't really. I can't really sit here and dwell on it because he's a great pitcher. That's like me getting upset if like a team's ace just like no hit us or something like that. Like that's what they're supposed to do.
Zach Gallen had 13 strikeouts, and the Yankees almost had that comeback towards the end where they scored 3
Yeah.
runs in the ninth.
I think what I liked though is that series leading into Pittsburgh showed that the bottom of our lineup can bang, and that's huge for us. Um, Overall, I think we played pretty well in the Diamondback series. They're just a really good team.
They had that first game. Well, was it the first game? Yeah, they had that first game until that grand slam, and you could just tell all the air got taken out of the stadium. And just from there, they're playing catch up. And it's later on in the game when he hit that home run. I think it was like the 6th or 7th inning.
And that's a team that you look at them and you think of the NL West, and you think of like the Dodgers, Padres, Giants. Dude, the Diamondbacks are a sneaky deep team.
They're still good, and they were in the World Series 2 years ago.
Yes, they're still a very good team, and I truthfully watching them play, I wouldn't be surprised if we see them make the postseason again this year, just because of how deep they are. Like they lost Ketel Marte, but yet they have Geraldo Perdomo, who's he balls out, and nobody ever talks about him. Like they're so deep with players that like you wouldn't expect.
Mm-hmm.
It was the only thing I did like about them having a good series was I have Corbin Carroll on my fantasy team, and he got me a lot of points that series.
He hit a homer in that series.
And Homer, I think he had a few other hits too.
Corbin Carroll is just a really good player.
Nasty outfielder too.
Oh yeah, really good. So let's talk about the Pirates series. So the Pirates, Yankees. So Yankees won 2 out of 3. They won the first game 9-4. I'm trying to see who pitched. So Max Fried pitched. He got his first win as a Yankee. 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 6 Ks, 1 walk.
Yep. And all of those 6 hits, a lot of them were soft contact.
Mitch Keller kind of got lit up a little bit. He only pitched 3 2/3, 8 hits, 7 earned runs, 4 Ks, 4 walks.
And then I think Will Warren started. No, he didn't start. Did he start that game or did Stroman?
The game we'll talk about right now?
Yeah, game 2.
Fried. Oh, game 2? That was game 1. Game 2, no.
Game 2 was Stroman for sure.
Stroman, 3 hits, 4 earned, 4 innings, 3 walks.
Not good. He looked good for the first 2.5 innings. He looked really good. And then, dude, he just kept leaving shit down the middle for that whole lineup, and they caught up.
Do you think that the Yankees even give a shit about the 140 innings thing? Because I personally don't think they do at all.
I think they do a little bit. I know, only for the fact that they tried so hard to train him this year, and obviously injuries happened, so he got forced back into the rotation. And I really don't. And I think for that reason, they're not trying to keep him around for a 3rd year. And him getting 240 innings would automatically trigger that opt-in.
140. Is he a free agent at the end of the season?
If he doesn't hit that, then yes. So I think that's my reason why I think they care a little bit. Because I don't think they're and next year he'd be getting paid more money than he would be this year too.
Right.
So this is just another J Happ situation.
Yeah, it's just one of those Yankees that when they sign, you're excited, but in the back of your head, you're like, hey man, I think that they're like 4 years, 5 years too late, and they're just hoping that they can, revive him.
Yeah, and I think if he gets close, or he gets close to being like pacing for the 140 innings, I think you see him traded at the deadline.
Oh, this is the game where Tim Hill came in, pitched, Mark Leiter came in and pitched. Only 1 hit between the two of them. Fernando Cruz came in, was nasty, 2 Ks, and then Yarborough, 2 innings pitched, 5 Ks.
Yeah, our bullpen was nailed.
I think it was the 2nd game. No, 3rd game he got lit up in one of these games, Yarborough. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That was the end of the Diamondbacks game, the last game.
Yeah, he only had 1 outing during the Pirates series.
It was that last game. You were right, by the way. We were going back and forth who we thought was going to lead off for the start of the Diamondbacks series. It was Goldie.
Yep.
And then Boone has switched it up again. He went to Rice today. He has had
Dude, I love Rice in the leadoff spot. That dude does nothing but get on base.
It drives me insane that he fucks with these lineups as much as he does just because it's a lefty righty on the mound. But As long as
Yeah.
they can get production out of leadoff, honestly, that's all I care about. That's all really that matters.
Yeah. And honestly, between all the leadoff options, I don't necessarily hate either one, so it's fine
Hmm.
by me.
Let's talk about the last game, the Pirates Yankees. So Yankees were down in the ninth inning, 4-1. Yes, 4-1. 2 outs. Peraza comes up, double, brings in a run. Grisham comes up, which is like honestly, that's the hottest Yankee right now. That's the dude you want up with 2 outs. And I saw him
The
come
sec
up, and I
the
was like,
second
he's
coming of
tying this
Reggie
game.
Jackson.
I'm like, he is tying this game. There is no doubt in my mind. And I do not like Trent Grisham. Like, he's making me eat crow this year. He's been doing really well, like one of
Hmm.
the best Yankees all season so far. To the point where it's like, yo, he's got to be in the lineup.
Dude, did you watch when Michael K was drawing comparisons between him and Reggie?
No,
They look exactly the same
I
as
was gonna
Reggie
say the
did.
look, but yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
could
was a
see
look.
it.
They pulled up a screen grab of Reggie Jackson and his 3 homer game in the World Series.
Yeah,
And bro, the hair and the mustache are identical, bro. And then he goes and he just happens to go off for 2 homers in the Pirates game.
his hair is crazy. Like everyone on the Yankees is like well groomed, definitely get haircuts. You know, they all got the burst fade. You know, they got the beard
Dude,
coming in.
Gresham does no brushing hair, dude, no batting gloves, like no theatrics around the bases, doesn't shake a coach's hand, no point in the sky, does not give a fuck except for hitting dinners.
No fucks at all.
No.
No fucks at all. That dude
Grish,
definitely just does it like missionary with his wife, like super old school. No eye
the most
contact.
the most vanilla shit, but yeah, she's getting off.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
all he has to do is look at her.
the mustache.
Yeah.
Mrs.
Just
Grisham, you're a very lucky lady.
Give it a little twiggle. Nah, dude, Grisham is he's him for sure.
What are your thoughts about the extra innings? Because I see a lot of Yankee fans that are like, hey, let's sacrifice bunt, move the guy over to third base. We had 2 opportunities to do it. Have a sac fly or a ground out, get whoever from third in, and then Yankees would be up 1 run, and then just hold them to no runs in the bottom of the 10th and 11th.
That's not something the Yankees alone should be doing. That's something all 30 teams on MLB should be doing. Like, dude, you got a runner a second? No, it's fucking bunt. Get him over.
So
Like,
the top of the 10th, I was like, nah, we shouldn't do that. I'm sorry, the top of the 10th, no. The top of the 11th, I'm like, okay, I would be okay with that.
I think it really just depends who you have up at the plate. Like, if you got Judge or like Bellinger or anything, like, yeah, fucking swing. Do your thing. If it's someone like Grisham, Volpe, or like, dude, even like Oswaldo, just dude, bunt him over. Get him over to third for the big guys. That's all you got to do because big guys are just going to put it in the air somewhere and he's going to score.
Trying to see who was up.
The only thing I disagree with Yankee fans about is them complaining about this runner second rule. Like, while I hate the rule that they have it, like, bro, it's been around for 5 years now. Like, we should be used to it by now.
I like it.
I like it, but I don't because I don't know. I kind of like the old school, like, hey, clean inning kind of thing. But
Okay, so the top of the 10th, Goldschmidt was on second, Bellinger, Judge, Chisholm, Volpe.
yeah, so no, don't put there.
The top of the 11th, Wells, Dominguez, Peraza, Grisham.
Everybody after Wells should have bunted, if not Wells.
Yeah, because I mean, if Wells gets out, you already have 1 out. I at that point, I'm like, hey,
Yeah,
I
at that point,
bunt.
if no, don't. If you got no outs though, and like he walked, fucking of course bunt. Like, get out of the double play situation.
Mm-hmm. One thing I noticed a lot, I would say, like the last week and a half, 2 weeks, Yankees are stealing bags.
Mm-hmm.
Yankees are stealing
Yes, sir.
bags.
I love it. I think every time I'm watching like Dominguez run, the yes booth is like, oh, he's so fast. I'm like, bro, how did we not know that already? He's fucking quick. Like,
Most
low
of the
key,
people on the team are
low,
fast.
dude, low key might be the fastest dude on the team. Low key, unless they get Duke Ellis back up. But
Trying to see. Okay. So I've talked about it on this show before. I've talked about it with my buddy John, who's a big Marlins fan. I like Jazz. His highs are so high, but his lows are so low. So for me, it's the inconsistency, which is why I'm not the biggest Jazz fan. So Jazz Chisholm has games where he'll go 0 for 3, 2 for 5, 3 for 4, 0 for 4, 1 for 4, 1 for 4, 0 for 5, 1 for 4, 1 for 5, 0 for 4. And they're all strikeouts. They're not even good at bats. They're like 2 strikes. I'm just like hacking at whatever. What do you think about Jazz Chisholm so far this season? Or do you think I am just kind of in the minority?
I think you're a little bit in a minority here.
He
What's his
started off
stat
the
line?
season super hot. He was over, I think he was almost 400 with an OPS over 1,000 the first series. Now,
This is the thing this is like the and I think someone enlightened me on this too. I think we gotten so used to players like Judge or like players like him, where you just expect him to have like 4 for 4 games, 3 for 4 games, or if he gets into a slump, the next game he's going to bounce back. I think when people are like looking at Chisholm's numbers and he goes 0 for 4 one game, like, oh yeah, dude, this dude's so loopy. Like, bro, if he was staying on the same pace, he'd be putting up impossible numbers. Like, we gotta expect some games where he goes 0 for 4 or something like that with a few strikeouts, like just like every other player.
so for me, it's not that. It's not the fact that he's going 0 for 4 or 1 for 5. It's the fact that he's striking out in these at bats. He's not moving anyone over. So his
but I mean, we love Judge and we watched him do that for 6 years.
a little different because his average is a lot better. So Jazz Chisholm, he is batting 214 now. Not good. His last 30 at bats, he has had 15 strikeouts. He's only had 4 hits. So his hits are home runs. Last 15 games, 9 hits, 4 home runs. So I said this before the season starts, and it definitely shows, especially when he's playing at home. My man is swinging for the fence.
At the same time, like, dude, like if you're swinging, that's also a product of Boone putting him in the 4 hole sometimes. Like, well, that's if you're in the 4 hole.
I hate him batting in the 4 hole.
I don't like him either. I don't like him either. I'm in the majority of like if he's not in the 4, if you're not going to put him in 4 hole, he needs to either be batting second in front of Judge, so where
Also
he can
hate
get more.
that.
No, here's why: because you got Judge behind him, he's going to have all the pitches hit because they're not going to try to put him on for Judge.
Correct. They're going to be pitching to him, but he had the
And that
problem
gives
with
him, and that's going to just create more hits for Jazz. But if it's not that spot, dude, 5 or 6 is perfect.
he was super. Yeah, I agree. 5 or 6. He did that last season towards the end of the year, and he was super streaky. Where some games he was like on, and then again just strikeouts. Like you got to make contact with the ball. You got to move people over, even if it's a bad at bat. Like okay, you fly out to the outfield. All right, you move someone over. Great.
How many games into the season are we? Today was game 10, right?
Yes, or 6 and 4.
So like that 214 average doesn't really mean anything to me at all because that's such a small sample size.
For me, it's just the fact that his last 7 games, he's 4 of 30. Not good. With only 1 walk, which shows you like he's not going deep into these counts other than just striking out.
But it really has anyone been crazy hot over these last few games when they're playing in like sub-freezing temperatures every single game and it's snowing? I think that plays a big factor into how a team plays. Like in the like Brewers and Diamondback series, I think there was only 1 game in Diamondback series where it was really cold. The whole Brewer series, it was pretty warm the entire time. Then they went to Pittsburgh, and yeah, I mean they balled out first 2 games, but it's the fucking Pirates. Like if you don't score 9 runs against the Pirates, you fucking suck. And then they played this game today in Detroit where it's snowing. Like going from like really hot to Tampa, like every single day for like a whole month playing games to now going to cold, that's going to affect the team a lot.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, if you're going to strike out in the cold, you're going to strike out when it's 90 degrees outside. But you were talking about hot Yankees, so Judge obviously has been hot.
Yeah,
Grisham's obviously been hot. Anthony Volpe, I'm looking at his splits right now. So his last 7 games, 29 at bats, 6 runs, 9 hits, 2 home runs, batting average of 310, on base percentage of 355.
And his EV off the bat has been crazy good this year. He's hitting the ball hard.
Only 7 strikeouts. And when he's hitting the ball hard, it's in the outfield. And if it's getting caught, he's still moving people over.
I'm still a big Volpe believer. And I know last year he got off to a hot start and then really cooled off. So, like, I'm not really banking on him having a monster season. But, like, even comparative to his start last year, he looks so much better.
Trent Grisham's stats are insane.
Dude, by the way, did you see? I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, but this guy like took like Grisham, Volpe, Judge, and like Jazz everybody and compared him to Soto stats so far in the year, and everybody's killing it except for Soto.
I have this coming up next. We're gonna compare Soto and Grisham. So,
oh, good.
Grisham, his last 21 at bats, 6 runs, 9 hits, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, 2 walks, only 3 strikeouts, 428 average, 500 on base. My man's OPS this season, 1.308. Holy fuck.
Young Reggie.
Jesus.
Grish him, dude. He's Grish him.
T as in Troy, T as in Trent Grisham.
Dude, you sent me that, and not even like 4 minutes before I saw that, I saved that from my phone for Twitter. I was about to send it to you too.
It's so funny.
I've gotten to the point in the season where I'm like, all right, it's full Yankee mode. I have a whole folder on my phone for Yankee memes.
Fuck yeah. The best is just going on the Yankees account. You don't even have to go through like Yankee troll accounts or just hashtag Yankees.
That's where the good memes are, brother.
Just go to the Yankees like most recent tweet and just scroll down. Like you will find hilarious tweets.
Oh yeah. In the replies.
Yeah, and the replies.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you meant from them. I'm like, nah, most of theirs are cringe.
Yeah. No, just look at their reply tweets. They're hilarious.
Hell yeah. I'll have to do that later.
All right. Trent Grisham versus Juan Soto. And I need to figure this out because I was talking about this beforehand. Whoever's watching this. On Friday, when Matt and I were going through the end, we were talking about jerseys and what we think of the city editions. I could see it on the screen. Matt could see it on the screen. When I recorded it and posted it, cannot see it on YouTube. So I got to figure out what's going on with that. But anyways, Trent Grisham wore 0.6. Juan Soto wore 0.3. Just Trent Grisham.
I think Soto's only batting like 240 something right now, right?
Yeah, a little bit more above that. Games. So Trent Grisham 8, Juan Soto 9. Plate appearances 26 for Trent Grisham. Juan Soto 39. Hits. Trent Grisham 10. Juan Soto 8. Home runs. Trent Grisham 3. Juan Soto 1. RBIs. Trent Grisham 9. Juan Soto 3. Stolen bases. Juan Soto only has 1. Trent Grisham does not have any. Batting average. 455 for Trent Grisham. 250 for Juan Soto. On base percentage, Trent Grisham 538, Juan Soto 385. Those are still 2 really good stats, by the way. Slugging, Trent Grisham 909, Juan Soto 438. OPS 1.448 for Trent Grisham, 0.822 for Juan Soto. OPS plus 298 for Trent. Juan Soto 134. So the Yankees traded for Trent Grisham last year. Juan Soto was just a throw-in.
Yeah. It's funny how Juan Soto needs a wardrobe thing for his mom and security detail for himself, and Grisham's like, dude, I don't even need batting gloves.
Yeah, fuck it. It's 30 degrees outside. It's snowing. I don't give a fuck.
Just gonna raw dog MLB.
Guy raw dog's life. Trent Grisham. So he's 28. Juan Soto's 26. I'm a Trent Grisham hater. I said it before. I mean, I really hope that these stats continue at this rate. It's a good problem to have because the Yankees have, 4 outfielders, 5 if you want to throw Oswaldo out there.
But like on active roster?
Yeah,
so technically 5 because I think Pablo Reyes is by trade an outfielder.
Yeah, they've been sticking. Well, they only stuck him at third one time this year. He didn't produce, so he hasn't played since. I'm more so Matt. It's Bellinger. It is Dominguez, Judge, I think Grisham, and then Oswaldo Cabrera. They've thrown out there plenty of times, so I could see a game or 2 where he plays out there.
I think, dude, and Jazz can also play outfield in a pinch if he needed because he played center field for the Marlins for most of the time he was there.
Mm-hmm.
And he was low-key nasty in center.
And the Yankees also have this guy named Giancarlo Stanton who occasionally plays the outfield like once a year.
Yeah. And dude, it's funny. Like, I know he can't play out there for so long, but every time he's gone to the outfield, he homers in that game, or like has a great day at the plate.
We went to a game last year where Giancarlo Stanton played right field, and I think he hit like 3 home runs that game, just piss missiles.
Yeah. I mean, honestly though, if he's hitting a home run, is it ever not a piss missile? Really?
No.
Like that dude had 2 broken elbows last year, essentially, and it was still hitting like 120-mile-an-hour homers. Ridiculous.
A double elbow injury.
And carried us in the playoffs.
Yankees-Tigers. So the Yankees-Tiger game or series, we're supposed to be later on. I think it was like, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock starts. at probably
Yep.
6 because it's central. They moved them all to 12, 1 o'clock, except for what today was 3, right?
Yeah, today was a 3 o'clock game.
3 o'clock. Yeah, I was watching the end of it at the gym. Um, just because I guess of how cold it is, which makes sense. It's fucking April
Yeah,
in Detroit.
they said like the wind chill at night was supposed to be like teens, single digits. So they were not going to play that game in
A
that
lot,
night.
a lot of
But I
players on
think,
both sides were wearing ski masks or shiesties.
yeah, dude, and I think like what happened today too is like that, and it was on a getaway day that they made it earlier too. So I think that fucked everybody up because that game was actually yesterday, and what should have been done like maybe 2 hours earlier, maybe or like an hour earlier.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to pull up.
Rodon looked really good to start today too, and then that third inning happened.
I turned the game on, and it was either the fourth or fifth inning, all the runs were already scored. I'm like, damn.
I was able to watch the first 2 innings at work, and dude, he was shoving.
It's funny how some Yankee fans are. I would say a good amount of Yankee fans are okay with the facial hair stuff now. I feel like it's kind of growing on people. But I heard John Boy was like, Yankees look real dumb when they have facial hair and losing. And he was like, I'm kind of joking, but I'm also kind of not joking. And I'm like, that's such an old white man person thing to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I he was like I think he was jokingly saying like, oh, like if you're playing good, keep it. If you're playing bad, you should shave, maybe. And I think honestly, like I wouldn't be totally against it, but dude, I don't really care about the beards or not. Like I've been saying for years, I wanted the beards or like let players do their thing, but also like I also respected the tradition. So I
Definitely
I
want to.
went. I was excited when they got rid of the facial hair rule, but I was also like, I also don't care all that much. Like,
Yeah. And just to preface this too, like Dan and I are really big Talking Yank fans. We love John Boy and Jake. But when I heard him say that, I'm like, come on, man. And he even said, like, I'm kind of joking, but I'm kind of not. They should have to earn their beard. I'm like, earn your beard, bro. Grows on your face. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck? What do you need to earn?
I do think there are some players that look way better with their beard though. Like Dominguez looks way better with a beard. Um, dude, who else? There was
Does
another
anyone
player.
look funny to you in a beard?
Um, Mark Leiter Jr. a little bit.
The goatee, the racist
Yeah.
goatee.
So how was your day before the game? You know, a day drink and beat my wife, and now I'm here ready to pitch.
Yeah, right. Beat my wife, drank 3 monsters on the way to the stadium, and my
White
Ford Ranger.
the white monsters too.
The white monsters, yeah. Punch some
Um,
drywall.
I don't think there's a Yankee that looks funny with a beard now. Um, I still respect the ones that aren't growing beards though, like Goldschmidt, like had a
Judge.
beard. Goldschmidt, Judge, Bellinger, Loki.
Do you
There's
think
dude,
Bellinger can?
even Wells is shaving his beard, just leaving the mustache.
Yeah, so Bellinger, I feel like can grow some facial hair. I think he had some when he was in LA.
He had a full beard, or I mean, not anything like crazy long, but like kind of like what I got, like a full beard with the Cubs.
Okay. Yeah, I remember
But
seeing like a good amount of stubble, but nothing super crazy. Yeah, the Wells, I was just like, damn, that's like the one dude that you thought was gonna be like, all right,
fucking
finally.
scruff, yeah, like huge bushy beard, and nah, dude. But I'd say though, like just the stash alone looks kind of badass as a catcher, though. That looks like a guy you don't fuck with. And then you
That's
see
true.
him,
That's a catcher move.
but then you see him posting the burritos, and you're like, all right, that dude's like,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a catcher move because what Trevor Rogers on the Tigers, massive mustache.
dude, that's straight up cop mustache.
Bad mustache, in my opinion. That shit is like over the mouth. Like
You know
before
what?
you gotta push that shit to the side.
It's a bad mustache, but for his face, it's perfect.
I guess so.
He looks like a dude that like got off his shift as a cop and started playing for the Tigers when he's off the clock.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I was late to the game. Had a couple traffic stops.
I want to see what Judge looks like with facial hair. I feel like towards the end of this year, he might like grow some stubble.
He had stubble in the going into what game was it? One of the games in the Diamondback series, and then I think he had like an over, and then he shaved it.
I know Sanders had like the not like the shadow, but like kind of like a stubbly like chin strap.
Like just like the chin, like fit, like the just taper fade beard. And dude, Stan looks great with a beard, by the way.
He had like the under the lip thing going in Miami for a while.
Same with the Yankees. His first 2 years, he had the soul patch.
Hmm.
And there was a game in 22 or 20, no, 23 or 24 where like he played in a game and Loki had a beard.
I want to see Garrett Cole with a beard
Yo,
again.
bearded Garrett Cole after TJ. Cy Young, give it to him right there.
With some lettuce too, because like I feel like the
Yeah.
last like 2 years he like really started to clean up his hair. But Garrett Cole, like when he was on the Pirates and when he's on the Astros, long hair, long beard, you're like, dude,
Oh,
that
dude,
is a
even
fucking pitcher.
his first couple of years with the Yankees, yeah, he
Right?
still had the
Yeah,
long hair. Yeah,
yeah. That's what I was saying. Like the first, or I'm sorry, the last 2 years, he definitely has like cleaned it up.
dude. Like I don't know, Garrett. Like every pitcher comes back and shoves after getting Tommy John. Dude, Cole with a beard and post Tommy John's gonna be a menace.
Hmm. The last thing I have is Adam Ottavino, like 38, 39, back with the Yankees.
Such a weird thing because like they brought him up just for Williams on paternity leave, and then he comes back to DFA him and then re-sign him again. And I think they're going to DFA him again tomorrow when Hamilton rejoins.
I'm gonna assume so, yeah, because he pitched today, 1/3 of an inning. He had 2 walks, 1K, 17 pitches, and
But
then Tim Hill
and
came in.
the crazy thing is, like every outing he's had with us this year, he's looked good.
I don't think he
That
looked good today.
I mean, yeah, but how many earned runs? None, right?
None, because one of them was Rodon's that he let
And
in.
he didn't give any runs up in the Diamondback series either.
He didn't. He also did not finish that inning. He literally just came in, faced 3 batters, walked 2 of them, and then struck one out. Yeah, 17 pitches, 8 strikes.
Yeah, I mean, 38-year-old reliever just on a whim. That's more than I can ask for, really.
Did you hear that story about how he like bought an old Dunkin' Donuts building when he was with the Mets and like turned into like a pitch lab?
Yeah, yeah, he had it throughout his Yankee career too.
Did he really?
Hmm.
Where did
Uh,
he came from the Rockies and then he went to the Yankees, right?
yeah, he was with the Rockies, came to the Yankees in free agency,
And then Yankees, Red Sox,
and that
Mets.
first Yankee year of Ottavino was disgusting.
They had Chapman. I think they had Betances too at the time, right? And Ottavino.
But Betances had like one or two outings because he came back and then he had that in that appearance in Toronto and then got hurt immediately in that game too, and then he just retired after or went to the
He
Mets.
Yeah, so he went to the Mets. I was just gonna ask what
Yeah,
happened to him.
yeah, he injuries just plagued him. But dude,
That guy was all over the place.
Betances though when he was right was the filthiest reliever in the game though.
When he was on. But when he was off, you could tell like
Oh,
first
dude,
batter, you're like, oh shit.
when he was off, you know he's walking the bases loaded.
I saw something the other day. Hold on. How how long do you think Aroldis Chapman has been in the MLB?
He come to the Reds from Cuba and what was it, third, either 2012 or 2013?
You gotta guess. It's longer than you think.
2011,
I I saw it. I'm like, oh shit. You're 1 year off. 2010.
2010?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think he came here in 2010, but I don't think he had many appearances until like 2011 though.
I remember
Because
he
I
wanted to be
think
a starter for a while in the Reds.
because I think 2012 was like that when he threw that famous pitch to Andrew McCutchen at like 105 or something like that.
Wasn't it? I thought it was like 106. Yeah.
Something like that, yeah, like 105.9 or something. But yeah, that was one that like buzzed McCutchen up and in. I remember, I think that was 2012. So I think maybe that's why I think that he came up in that year because like that was such like a that was like his first moment, I guess.
Oh, he's pitched for the Red Sox 4 games already this year. 3.2 innings, 4 strikeouts, 1.09 whip, no earned run so far. That's good. I'm trying to pull up
See
his
that?
stats though from back in the day. 2010. He appeared
That's the
in
thing.
15
The thing that
games.
pissed me off about Aroldis is you can tell he hated being a Yankee. Like for those last couple of years, because he was so ass for us, but then he went right to dude. Who did he go to after us? It wasn't Pittsburgh just yet, or was it Pittsburgh? Oh, but anyway, he went there, and then all of a sudden, like he was throwing 105 again and just striking everybody out.
So he signed
Went
with the Royals and then got traded to Texas. And then he pitched last season in Pittsburgh.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, dude, I forgot about the Royals in Texas here.
I remember him signing with the Royals, and I'm like, good riddance. And then he got traded
Hmm.
to the Rangers, and then they won the World Series. You're like, okay.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I don't like him as a person whatsoever, but I mean, good for him that he's still finding success, like, and still throwing that crazy hard at his age. Like, it's freakish, but like, also fuck him.
How old is he?
He's got to be like 35 or 36. It's got to be. And if he's younger than that, then he lied on his age on his birth certificate.
37.
Damn. All right,
That's
that makes sense.
crazy.
And he's
Yeah,
still throwing like 103.
yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like,
Oh,
that's crazy.
yeah.
Dude is going to be throwing like over 100 probably until like 45 years old, or his arm's just going to fall off. Like, there's probably no in between.
Do you see Ichiro throw out the first pitch at the Mariners home opener this year? He threw it at like 87 or something like that.
No,
Yeah, he every time he does the first pitch, he'll throw like an actual fastball, and on the gun he hit 87.
no shit.
Yeah, the dude still got it.
No shit.
That's why I always say he's the greatest baseball player to ever live.
Greatest
Easily.
base ever to live?
Talent wise, yes.
That's crazy. What the fuck? I
Hmm.
was not prepared for that.
Dude, he let's be real. If he played MLB right now, he would still hold his own weight easily. Dude, they showed him taking BP in fucking Japan, hitting tanks at like his age, like not even 3 months ago, hitting
Dude,
tanks.
that's BP though. Ichiro and slow pitch softball would be holding his own, but
I don't know, dude. When you're in your 50s, you're still blowing nearly 90. You can still hit. Like, that's crazy.
his last few years weren't the greatest.
No, but he dealt with a little bit of injuries.
All right, so Ichiro, he is. I want to pull this up on my on the. I don't know if it would work though. He's 51.
51 for 51.
I got to figure this out. That way I could pull this up so everyone that's watching can see this. All three people. Batting average. All right, so he played in 2 games in 2019. He played in 15 games 2018. Okay, so let's go with his last 3 years. He was 41, 42, 43 these years. And this was right after the Yankees with the Marlins. He batted 229, 291, 255. Okay, that's not too bad. On base
Yeah.
percentage.
And you got to figure too, those Miami teams had shit coaches, like shit analytics. Like, we're probably doing nothing to help them. It's not really an excuse, but
On
it
base
does play a factor.
282, 354, 318. You're not terrible. I want to see, did he steal any bases?
No, he didn't really steal many bases towards the end of his career.
So his last 3 years, no. So when he's with we'll just go from the Yankees. The Yankees, 20 stolen bases, 15, 11. No, I'm sorry. He only played 2 years in Yankees, 20 and 15. His age, 41 season, he stole. Oh my God, I just had it.
I will say though, that's like one of the few, like first, like, well, not one of the first, like it was like one of those like Yankees like out of nowhere signings that got me so fucking excited out of like when it happened when the Yankees signed Ichiro.
11
like
and 10 were his last 2.
And yeah, and I remember just Ichiro was always one of my favorite players, like since I started watching baseball. And I remember like the Yankees were not even linked to him whatsoever, like no inklings of anything. And then out of nowhere they just signed him. I was like, I got so excited.
2012 is when they signed him. So they signed him when he was 38. And then he played 1, 2, 3 seasons with them. Yeah. I used to love Ichiro. Growing up, I would bat lefty sometimes and just try to pull everything and just run to first base as like quickly as possible.
Or just do like the slash hit.
Yeah, or like you go up and you just point the bat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of players that like are in the inner circle like of baseball players like throughout their careers, but dude, Ichiro 100% is in that circle. I'd put him like top 5 easily of all time.
We'll have to do an episode of just like all-time GOATs.
Yeah. Do like a tier list.
All-time GOATs.
Spoiler, Ichiro's going in S tier automatically.
He's going to the S tier? Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay.
Like the very top. Yeah.
That'd be cool. We should do that. I just got to figure out how everyone who's watching could see it. But yeah, that'd be
You could
cool.
you could do it through OBS if you have that program on your computer.
Definitely not. I'm like a 9-year-old child. I record
Uh,
everything on the
it's
iPad.
if you well, you can do it in post editing too.
Yeah,
Or you
I'll
can
figure it out.
yeah.
I'll figure it out. Closing up the show though, do you have any plugs?
No plugs right now. Actually, no, I do. If anyone's interested, our buddy Matt and I, we played a Meriden Wiffle Ball League on Sunday nights. We have an open field event for people who are interested in playing, or just want to come out and play wiffle ball for a night. This Sunday at 5:30 at Falcon Field in Meriden. And then if you're interested in playing, we start our season on the 27th. It's open rosters. Just sign a quick waiver and you're good to go. And it's a really good time. You should all come out.
Hell yeah. And I have one plug, I guess not really a plug, a shout out. Shout out Dan's old Uber driver. I hope you're doing well. Maybe you're in jail, maybe you're not, but I'm thinking of you.
Probably is.
He probably is.
He probably is. I haven't can't say I haven't thought to, or can't say I've thought to write to him, but I hope he's doing well.
You guys could be pen pals.
Pen pals, hell yeah, dude.
That'd be sick. Be like, yo, do you
Penitentiary
remember me
pals.
from Detroit that one time you drove me to McDonald's? That was cool.
Yeah, and you missed a drive, dropped me off, and then shot somebody. Yeah,
What year was
Okay.
this?
2017.
2017. So yeah.
Yep.
Shut.
Oh yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for hopping on.
Yes, sir. We'll do it next time.
Peace.
Peace.